NASA has developed a machine called the ARED, or the Advanced Resistance Exercise Device. Why? Because in a microgravity environment, our bones lose density. Bones are living tissue and react to their environment, just like muscles, tendons, our brains, etc. So when the first astronauts returned from space and were found to have lost a lot of density, they were put on a regime to build it back up. And the greatest factor in that regime? Resistance training, now even in space. So if we ever do colonize Mars, bone density will be a real concern in a different environment of stress. But down here on Earth, we need to think of bone health as another important part of optimizing our male physique. The good news is, it's fairly easy to do. In this video, we're going to look at the biggest factors contributing to bone density and health as it relates to exercise. And you may be a little surprised at the role calcium actually plays in all of this. Okay, let's get into it. Some of you may have seen the Got Milk marketing campaign from way back, and we have all certainly been told over and over again of the importance of calcium for strong bones. And that is true. Calcium is important, but as with all things, it's a bit more complicated than that. So let's clear up the marketing spin on calcium and minerals needed for bone health. First, our bones have two distinct parts, a hard outer layer and an inner spongy layer. The outer hard layer is what we typically associate with bones. The inner layer is in many ways much more interesting from a health standpoint. Calcium is then critical to the hard layer as it helps with the strength component of the bone. The spongy inner layer is supported by collagen, or giving it an ability to bend and flex but ultimately not pull apart. So given both parts of our bones are living tissue, they are constantly being broken down and rebuilt, just like we do with our muscles when lifting weight. With muscles, we are forcing or at least accelerating that breakdown. With bones, we do the same with the stress we put on them, or for astronauts, the lack of stress. This process is called bone remodeling, and this is where calcium and a host of other minerals and vitamins play a crucial role in our health. And so we know calcium plays a vital role in the bone density and hardness, but calcium needs vitamin D, magnesium, and other vitamins and minerals to help it succeed for optimal bone health. Walk down the dairy aisle at your local store and you'll often see milk containers state fortified with vitamin D. The reason for that is vitamin D directly helps with the absorption of calcium. This is obviously critically important, and much of the calcium we consume through eating and drinking will not be useful without the use of vitamin D. It simply will become waste and our bodies will get rid of it. And the same is true with ingesting vitamin D through supplements. Sometimes our bodies will not utilize it and simply get rid of it. So get out in the sun. Don't get a sunburn, of course, but get a bit of sunlight when you can. It's by far the best source for vitamin D, as the sunlight allows your body to produce the vitamin D it needs. What is happening is the UV rays trigger the vitamin D production from the cholesterol in your body. And as a second-tier avenue for vitamin D, eat fish, like salmon and tuna. Some dairy and nuts can be beneficial as well. But sunlight is the key for vitamin D, in moderation. There are great resources online for calculating the amount of sun you need for vitamin D creation. Other key helper minerals for calcium are magnesium and vitamin K. Think of magnesium as the mineral that helps move calcium around the body, where vitamin K tells the calcium where to go and where it's needed. Magnesium is the transport, vitamin K is the traffic signal, or Google Maps if you like. So fish and vegetables will be your natural source for magnesium, and beef, pork, eggs for vitamin K. In other words, eat a healthy, natural diet and you will have all the magnesium and vitamin K you need. As always, don't complicate things. Eat naturally and the rest will take care of itself. Don't reach for any supplements until you have your diet in order. If you're doing things correctly, you will not need supplements and instead get them naturally with max absorption through the wonderful meal you just ate. There are two other important calcium helpers, silicon and boron. Not the most glamorous of minerals, but important nonetheless. Silicon helps the mineralization of calcium, or it initiates the process for calcium to do its job. Boron, on the other hand, actually helps with vitamin D more so than calcium itself. Boron helps the kidneys store magnesium and will extend the life of vitamin D. It stabilizes vitamin D in the body and helps prevent us from having a vitamin D deficiency. Again, get these in your natural food. Fish, meat, eggs, and grains. And coffee and bananas have good boron content. Okay, how does this apply to exercise for our optimal healthy body? Since the bone is a living tissue that breaks down and rebuilds, the rebuilding is obviously through exercise, resistance training in particular. Just as with ARED on the space station, we have yet another great reason for lifting weights. So what is happening at the bone level is that when we lift, there is a push and pull force that builds both the outer and inner layers of the bone. The resistance training is creating a compressive action as well as a tensile action. Our body has specific substances that are designed for building compressive strength in bones and substances for building tensile strength in bones. This is where calcium and collagen are directly impacting bone strength and density. The best way to visualize tensile strength is to think of a flimsy wire. It is very easy to bend and flex in almost any direction, even tie it into a knot, but it's incredibly hard to literally pull it apart. That is tensile strength, and all of our bones have it. But what exercise directly help with this compression and tensile strength? All of them. Seriously, when you think about compression on our legs, we think typically of running, jumping, squats, literally putting downward pressure on our bones as compression. But if you look closer, the bone is being stressed in both directions. Good stress. Imagine bending a bone. You'd have a short side that is being compressed and the outer side of the bend that is being flexed but not breaking, like that bendable metal rod. So during exercise, our bones are not literally flexing, but the stress put on them is both compressive and tensile. So we are getting the inner and outer layers of the bones to react and grow through a single movement. We don't need bone exercises. Rather, the weightlifting we are already doing is helping us build the density, flexibility, and longevity of our skeleton. This is true for both push and pull exercises. The common bicep curl is pulling on one side of the bone through the tendons as it is flexing the other side. And the pull-up is doing the same as it's putting good stress on your back and spinal cord. So one way to think about having optimal bone health is not to think about it at all. Seriously, if you focus on health and a natural diet, you will get calcium, magnesium, and other minerals to help you keep and maintain healthy bones. Get a bit of sunlight. There's something special about being in the sun, but of course don't overdo it. Just a few minutes a day has been shown to stimulate vitamin D production and lift weights. You should already be lifting weights for your physique, and we are now getting a combination of benefits when we ensure mineral consumption. And your bones will also benefit from your activities. Play that game or ride the bike. Go skiing or hiking. This will all put on good stress for bone health while letting us enjoy life to the fullest here on Earth. We can worry about colonizing Mars some other time. Check out this video on more details around the benefits of dairy, and we'll see you in the next one.